I was brought up in a Catholic family in Chile, that is South America. Um, During my time as a little boy, I was called by my parents first to serve the Lord, and they really wanted me to be active in the Catholic Church. And so I became an altar boy when I was 8 years old. It was a interesting experience to be part of that denomination for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, until we relocated to a different country. That helped me to realize that God was important in my life. Later, my family moved again once more, this time out of South America and into North America. I was a teenager by then, and I became involved with the Adventist Church through, of course, Bible studies with my family, and we began to realize the beauty of the gospel. As a teenager, I was so excited to know wonderful truths about not only the Sabbath, but that Jesus was personal, something that I really didn't really understand very well because of my Catholic background. Regretfully, I took a turn to go to the world, I guess we will say, to step aside, step away from the Lord, and I did that for a number of years, trying to make a name for myself, become a professional and have a place in society. I was able to travel a lot and do many other things, and grew as a person and just have a lot of experiences. But it may sound cliche, but it's true. There was an emptiness in my heart. Often I would remember the times when, as a little boy and then as a teenager, I would be close to the Lord, and I would miss those days. But I was so caught up in this, trying to make a living, trying to make money, trying to increase my portfolio, that I didn't have time. Until one day, the Lord brought into my life a very special person.
I wasn't a Christian, so I was talking to God and say, send me this man. I was description after description. I want to be, a regular guy. I want this special guy, and I know you have it for me. So now you have to show me. Where is it? Until we met. So I said, oh, I saw him. I said, it's that guy.
And as we began to get to know one another and began to form a friendship, and then, we began to think seriously about, having a home and marriage. One of the questions that always came up was, what about our kids? What kind of legacy are we going to give them? I remember that once, a long time ago, I used to know the Lord, and that He was my friend. I spoke to Pamela and I said, Pam, would you like to hear about the message of the Adventist Church? And she was agreeable to that, and so we began to take Bible studies, and a few months later, we were baptized. After that, we got married, and now everything changed. We had a new purpose in life. We knew why we were here. We knew where we would end up.
We've been through a lot of stuff, and separation because he became first to the States. I stayed with our little baby in Chile, and that was a rough time. But at the same time, I know that God was preparing me for what He was going to do with us.
One day, the pastor asked, if there was anyone in the congregation that would seriously consider going into ministry.
I know the call was for him, but not only for him, for me too.
That seed just stayed in our hearts. We talked about it for some time. And then we seriously began to pray and say, Lord, this is kind of like not letting us go. We need an answer, Lord. Please show us the way. I became involved with the church, serving as an administrator, using my my expertise in finances and accounting and whatnot. That pastor had a mission trip to Mexico. And I was going to go to help him with PowerPoints and do Bible studies, kind of like his sidekick. I had my briefcase with me, he had his. We went with a church member that was from that area in Mexico so that he could be kind of like our guide. To our surprise, the pastor was not able to get on the plane because he didn't have a passport. And so he handed me his briefcase and he said, "Edgar, I think this is the answer that you were looking for from the Lord." I opened the briefcase, I opened the computer, and to my surprise, there were no sermons ready. I learned later that he was going to do the sermons day by day. So all I had with me were the titles of the sermons and the scripture reading. That's it. And from that I had to put together the entire sermon with PowerPoint presentations, so on and so forth. After 10 days of evangelism, the Lord crowned our efforts with 6 beautiful souls that decided to give their lives to the Lord. And I had my answer from God that He wanted me to be in evangelism. 3 months later, we were driving cross country from Oregon to the beautiful state of Tennessee, to Collegedale, to come to Southern Adventist University. We were the first call to ministry in our class. The Lord allowed us to stay with a wonderful conference, Georgia-Cumberland conference. We were asked to go and continue our education at Andrews University, where I finished my MDiv. And then the Lord opened the doors to serve an amazing congregation in Knoxville. From that time when God showed us the ministry was where He wanted us to be until today, that we are taking this amazing step in ministry, all we have seen is God's blessings in our lives.
I never understand the process because I didn't grow up as an Adventist. So through the way when he started studying and started to learn and talking with other friends, they talk about ordination. And they always look like a big word, super important things in the ministry. And now realize today it is a very, very important thing for us. It is for us, and it's a confirmation about the ministry, about other people seeing Edgar's ministry in our ministry, because I see as a couple in ministry, and it's very important for us.
We see great potential to continue to do more and more for the Lord, for His honor and glory. So this day is special because it serves as a confirmation to us of what God has done for many years. It confirms what other people have seen. It brings us to a new start, to do bigger things yet for Him. And also, it allows us an opportunity to be even more proactive in enlarging His kingdom.